No more pain. Click. Yes, yes, yes. And you guessed it. We back at it again. This one, y'all, we got none other than the one they call Ren Chapter 2. These get deep. I can tell that. I just hope this one ain't as deep as the first one. Oh my goodness. The only beauty about it is I ain't got nothing to break down in this. I'm just mostly listening. See, we're gonna going into Ren's repertoire of his life. At least I think that's what he's talking about. That's what he was talking about in the first one. That was the beginning. So let's see where he at on this one. And without further ado, no more pain. Click. Thank you for showing up. Chili Beans, appreciate y'all. And Renegades, mount up. I like that view.
A year of living in a nightmarish purgatory does strange things to your psyche. I was still trying to push through university, but I found myself missing many lectures to stay in bed. I started noticing more unusual symptoms creeping in. A strange...
You know, I noticed he is. Do they call college over there school, university? Because or am I? I'm thinking that's what it is. University. This is school. He's in college. He was in college at this time, I guess. What he's speaking on. So, if I'm wrong, let me know. Yeah. I'm thinking it's got to be. Yeah.
Missing many lectures to stay in bed. I started noticing more unusual symptoms creeping in. A strange buzzing sensation in the soles of my feet. My vision started looking like fuzzy television static, something that I later learned was called visual snow, something with no known origin. My calf muscles started constantly twitching and spasming. At any moment they wouldn't go longer than 20 seconds without twitching, and that can drive you a bit nuts. All these symptoms I still live with to this day. You just become very used to tolerating constant discomfort. It becomes kind of the norm and kind of becomes like an annoying, unsettling radio static in the background of existence. I stopped taking my antidepressants after having cycled many different kinds. None of them helped. All of them...
That was my movie too. I saw he had a clip from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the last one. I love that movie.
Taking my antidepressants after having cycled many different kinds. None of them helped. All of them gave me some new kind of symptom or side effect like insomnia, dry mouth, heart palpitations, no libido, etc. I spent a lot of my time alone, but in the moments of respite I'd hang out with friends. We formed a band called Trick the Fox the year before I'd gotten sick. It was the one ray of sunshine I had at the time. I quickly became friends with a bass player called Charlie, and we developed some kind of musical telepathy where we both knew what the other was going to play before it even happened. He was the first musician I've ever felt this kind of chemistry with. I became a kind of third wheel in his Momoko's relationship. With time, Momoko became like a sister to me. To this day, it's one of my favourite people on this spinning rock. Performing with Trick the Fox was one of the rare times that I felt free. There was something about the duty of having to entertain others that let me escape the physical limitations of my own sick body, even if just for a moment. I usually pay for it the next day with what can only be described as an energy hangover where I'd be stuck in bed all day, but for me that was worth it. Those days I was still fairly functional. It was around this time I started losing faith in the medical industry. The more appointments I'd go to, adamant that something was wrong, the more of a hypochondriac they treat me as. Medical gaslighting is a real thing with chronic illness. They chalk me down as someone who was always requesting blood tests, and my mental health diagnosis probably didn't help that. Strangely, they never tested me for any kind of pathogens.
Yeah, I've never had faith in the medical industry. Nope. They sucks ass.
Me for any kind of pathogens. I decided to embark on a precarious journey into the Russian roulette chamber of Dr. Google. I would type in the most predominant symptom of the day, and Dr. Google would tell me that I have a rare disease and I'm probably going to die. With time, I sharpened my search engine axe and refined what I was looking for.
Damn. Well, do Google say stuff like that? Oh my God. I've never typed anything in Google, but if they gonna be talking like that, yeah, I probably never will. Oh my goodness. Look at that. You are going to die. Well, shit on a stick. Damn.
Gonna die. With time, I sharpened my search engine axe and refined what I was looking for. I dived headfirst into the abyss of online support groups, hoping to find solace or answers amongst fellow sufferers. We were like crabs in a barrel. Very rarely someone would find their silver bullet and announce what it was that cured them. Hundreds of people would follow their protocol, some with mild success, but most of us will still remain trapped. I joined as many online support groups as I could. It was a bit like the beginning of Fight Club, except instead of faking conditions to feel accepted, I was desperately hoping I had those conditions so I could cure myself and get the fuck out. I convinced myself I had conditions like candida, magnesium deficiency, parasites, adrenal fatigue, heavy metal poisoning, etc. At the time, I felt like I was single-handedly keeping Jeff Bezos in business. While most students were spending their student loan on drinks, I'd spend mine on the supplement or protocol of the week. I'd follow whatever herbal or supplement protocol was suggested, sometimes noticing mild improvement and sometimes getting a lot worse, most of the time feeling nothing. A story would pop up on one of these groups like, after I did a 30-day parasite cleanse of wormwood, cloves and garlic, all my symptoms disappeared. I'd read a story like this, get full of hope and put myself through a grueling 30 days, which would often result in a worsening of symptoms. My body felt even sicker and weaker, but I'd stick it out because I was told that this was a good sign. The parasites are dying. I peered into the toilet bowl and valiantly waved goodbye as I flushed their imaginary corpses into a watery abyss. At the end of the 30 days, I'd be left with a lighter wallet.
Yeah, you gotta be aware of these online wannabe doctors, anesthesiologists, or whatever the hell else they think they are, scientists, telling people to eat this, drink that, do this, do that, and you'll be cured of this and that. Nah, I don't take none of that shit to heart. Yeah, that stuff probably kill you quicker than anything else. I've heard of wormwood, cloves, and what is it? Oil of oregano, and whatever else shit they got out there. Sea moss. Yeah, they got a million different ways that they claim they'll cure you. Yeah, until someone knocks on my door and tell me they was cured of whatever disease by doing this, I need to see proof of it. Yeah, I need to see proof.
Parasites are dying. I peered into the toilet bowl and valiantly waved goodbye as I flushed their imaginary corpses into a watery abyss. At the end of the 30 days, I'd be left with a lighter wallet and all my symptoms still remaining. And if that didn't work, I'd move on to what was next. Maybe I have seasonal affective disorder. Alright, so I'd get on the internet, order a light, stare at it for 10 minutes a day, and to my big fucking surprise, still have all my symptoms. The only thing that light illuminated for me was that I was desperate enough to buy a glorified table lamp. I kid you not when I say that over the years I probably have taken nearly every dietary health supplement known to man. One of the most grueling self-treatment courses came when I did a round-the-clock heavy metal chelation. I would take a supplement called ALA and DMSA, which supposedly shuttled mercury molecules out of your body through a process called chelation. I would have to take the pill once every 3 hours around the clock, which meant setting multiple alarm clocks to wake up and take them. The supplements came with their own side effects. I remember one time standing in a supermarket and feeling like the sounds and lights were so bright that I couldn't even bear to be in there. I stuck with this protocol for a whole year with no luck. I was still coming to terms with the death of one of my best friends during this time too. I was too sick to hold down any kind of stable job, so I was mostly living off my student loan. Welsh students study in England also weirdly get given a small sum of money just for being Welsh, or almost like a "we're really sorry that you're Welsh" sort of condolence prize. I've always prided myself on my financial independence, so whenever I could, I'd get out on the streets of Bath and I'd busk. I remember the very first time I did. I had my guitar in hand, I perched myself on a bench, took a deep breath, and then bared my soul to the jury of the street, and it was exhilarating. People sometimes ask me what music means to me, and it means life. This was usually the one time I felt like I didn't want to die. This was the one time I could feel a resemblance of something that resembled spirit, that resembled my soul, that resembled me. I even found myself cracking jokes with onlookers, which for someone dripping with social anxiety at the time was huge for me. It was March, roughly 3 months after Joe had died, and I was sitting on a bench in Bath with my guitar singing into a busy street. And this is when I would meet the first angel of this story. I'd see 2 more angels years later, One in the guise of a homeless man, one a doctor cheating death in the Beverly Hills clinic, but that bit will come a little bit later.
Okay, so he really is telling everything about his life. Well, most of it anyway. The part that's to him is important. Yeah. And it's still deep as shit. And that's the thing, man. Even though I've never met Ren, never talked to Ren, not yet, not as of yet. But it's almost like I've been knowing him for years. It's like he pulls you into his life. And it's like you right there with him living it. It's fucking amazing. I've never felt like that with no other artist.
To cheating death in the Beverly Hills clinic, but that bit will come a little bit later. The angel was walking on the opposite side of the street with her mother. They both stopped to watch me for a moment. I saw her mum whisper something to her. The angel turned bright red and she giggled and they shyly approached. We got talking and the angel asked where I was from. I told her that I grew up in Wales in a small village that was once described in a local newspaper as being worse than an Iraqi war scene. I told them they would have never heard of it. They looked surprised and they said they had family there. I asked which part and it turned out to be the village that I grew up in. Since you can basically count a population of 2 intergenerationally bred mutated hands, I asked who they were, and it turned out that angel happened to be Joe's cousin. This encounter was always a foundational moment of serendipity in my life. In the years that followed, I took serendipitous occasions to mean I was in line with my purpose. Sometimes I felt like I'm following a script. It's just that I don't know the words or actions until they actually happen. But in moments of serendipity, I feel like they are playing out exactly as they were meant to. It was quite a bizarre moment for me, that hundreds of miles away by chance this angel would be related to my lost friend. Upon learning who I was, they invited me back to theirs for a cup of tea, and I accepted and I fell in love. It was really good tea. That week, the angel took me to a favourite botanical garden, and she pointed out a favourite flower. So that night, true story, I dressed in black, broke in by climbing over the fence, dug up the flower and presented it to her the next day. She called me insane, but it's safe to say that angel ended up being my first serious girlfriend. It was a weird kind of relationship. We both shared an unusual trauma for people who were so young, brought together by a tragedy. Even though sometimes I feel like she might have hated me at the time, I was convinced like it was some sort of Shakespearean fate that had brought us together. A morbidity that birthed light, that it couldn't be anything else. It felt like divine intervention. She was pretty troubled in her own way, and I was very troubled in mine. But in between the sludge of dealing with the constant symptoms, it was beautiful. That summer, her parents took us to Centre Parks, which is a posher version of Butlins, if you don't know, where they paid for all the activities and meals, and they let me do whatever I wanted. Coming from a poorer family, I wasn't really used to being spoiled to that degree, but I figured I'd just roll with it. One morning while I was there, I got a call from my friend Sega, and he sounded pretty mixed up, so I asked him what was wrong. He told me that there was no easy way to say it, but one of my other best friends, Callum, had died. He'd gone cliff jumping in the same cliffs we used to jump off as kids. The sea was particularly choppy that day, and he caught a cross current and he started to drown. Another guy that he was with had jumped in an attempt to save him, and they both drowned. The first day I met Callum, I was 11. He was in a year above me in high school and used to walk around with these massive baggy bright orange jeans. He hung around with all the goth kids and I thought they looked super cool. So the next day I painted my nails black and fashioned a necklace out of a severed extension cable from an old VCR machine. I infiltrated the group and I gained their trust. Not long after, me and Callum were friends, wandering around beautiful Welsh countryside looking for the most scenic places to smoke weed. We stayed friends throughout high school and I truly loved him. When Callum died, I couldn't properly grieve. I felt weirdly numb after losing Joe. I'd often feel guilty for my inability to cry at the time. A couple of years later, I'd learned another friend of mine that I used to play function gigs with had thrown himself off a cliff face in Dover. And again, I felt numb. I couldn't tell if this new acceptance of the inevitability of death was a beautifully liberating thing, or if it was a sign that my humanity was slipping away. To this day, death has kind of remained a bit of a matter-of-fact part of my life. During my years of sickness, I had to crawl through a morbid longing to be killed by my illness to find a more peaceful acceptance that death is just an inevitable consequence of life and it doesn't spare anyone. That never left, and I haven't ever really been scared of dying since. Some days I've tempted it. What I'm more scared of is having to live my whole life as a sick person. In my relationship with death, the most healing moment occurred just 2 years ago. My grandmother, who I loved to pieces, was dying, but I actually got the chance to say goodbye this time, to hold her hand, to thank her for being alive. I remember not long before she passed, she was lying in the hospital bed, and she was very weak and very pale, barely able to open her eyes. I asked how she was, and it seemed like a stupid question as soon as it left my mouth. She paused for a long moment, and she turned her head to look at me, and she opened her eyes, and she smiled, and she said she felt happy. And it was just one word, happy, which was simple and it was beautifully profound. And that was one time I'd gotten a chance to say goodbye. And it was the first time that I hoped that one day I would die happy. The following year, I would achieve something beyond my wildest dreams, and then I would lose it almost as soon as it came. Stay tuned for that.
I don't wanna hear no words today, because they pull me under. In the castle of my room, I'll hide away.
Okay, so he's doing his old school first group he was with, Trick the Fox. I think that was a Trick the Fox, Runaway. And I guess that was Callum. I forgot what he said the guy's name was.
Under in the castle of my room, I'll hide away from the outside thunder. Gonna lock my troubles outside of this door, 'cause today it's just me and these four walls.
Bro, got a black eye. Who hit you in your eye, bro?
It's just me and these four walls. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh. Said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. The light that I hold, it turns to gray, and that makes me wonder, will I always feel this way? So far under, but I put my soul on show for everyone to see. 'Cause even though it's bruised, I know it holds such beauty. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh.
Okay, so Ren was a rocker. He started out a rocker, man. That sounds like a rock and roll song right there.
It holds such beauty. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Nobody here but me today, but that makes me stronger. 'Cause I wash away the pain under sheets of feather. Gonna lock my troubles outside of this door, 'cause today it's just me and these four walls. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say oh. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. I crave relief in solitude. I search for peace, but pain pursues. Please something, just free me, give me some truth. My head is a prison.
That's dope. What they do in the background. These boys were talented as hell. Man, I ain't had this kind of talent when I was their age. Nah, nowhere near it. I played the saxophone, so I could have been in a band. But I don't know how old he was on this, but yeah, he was a teenager. If he was 16 on here, yeah, nah, we couldn't be in the same band because I was in the jazz. But also, when I was 16, you weren't born. Yeah.
I search for peace, but pain pursues. Please something, just free me, give me some truth. My head is a prison, I need to move. to another place. Say, oh, I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Say, oh, I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. I said I wanna run, I said I wanna run, I said I wanna run. Hey, oh, I said I wanna run, I said I wanna run, I said I wanna run. Hey, oh, I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place. Hey, oh, I said I wanna run away, fly to another place, fly to another place.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I can honestly say, and I've said this in other Ren videos I've reacted to, is that that's one of the reasons people love this dude is because he's so relatable. So many people have endured so many hardships and pain growing up at an early age. Some early, some early. My first brush in with death, I was 5. I was 5 years old when I saw my first dead body. So imagine that screwed me up a bit. And it seemed like from that point on, I was seeing them all the time. It became normal. And that's a bad thing. When you start seeing dead bodies or even people walking by you 1 second and all of a sudden you see them drop. It became normal to the point we just walk over the dead bodies because where I'm from, if you didn't see a dead body, then you got worried. That means something is off. But to see this young man go through all that and hearing that come from him, it's painful. Okay, I understand. I went through a lot of trauma growing up, but I dealt with it. I pretty much just suppressed it and just went on with my life and just sucked it up to, okay, that's part of life. It is what it is. And never spoke about the shit again. But to see and hear this young man speak it and then pull us into it, invite us into it, into his life and his pain, it gives a different perspective, you know. And yes, maybe it is better to talk about your traumas, deal with them, so don't poison your mind later in life. You can live a happy, successful life. But yeah, man, it's never easy growing up like that. And no child should have to endure those kind of no child should have to go through that. And I heard him say he grew up where he grew up is like a war-stricken Iran or Iraq or something like that. And that's like, I'm like, damn, I thought my neighborhood was bad. I grew up on a farm for a minute. Then we transitioned to well, we called it a city, but it really was just a small ass town. But it was a step up from what they had paved roads. From where I came from, didn't have paved roads. But this town had paved roads. So to us, it was a city. They had buildings. They weren't big buildings, but they was buildings. Because where I came from, we had shacks, trailer parks, and beat up houses, dirt roads, and a lot of farms everywhere. So yeah, it's just troubling, man. And I'm proud of this guy because he's came so far from where he came from, man. He's doing well. And I like that for him. But let me get off of here, y'all. I tell you, boy, Ren love dredging up these bad memories, don't he? Okay. Peace and love to everybody. Be safe this Easter weekend. Have fun. Hug your loved ones. And no more pain. Click. Chili beans. Renegades. Peace.